about CE5 and extraterrestrial contact, download my new book, now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and 14 other platforms. Book authored by Donald Ledesma. CE5, Frequencies of Contact.
Join your fellow Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Experiencers at the 2024 Full Disclosure Now Conference, this July 15th to 18th. This conference will be a fun and positively life-changing experience for so many. In addition to 4 days and nights of presentations, there will be special event dinners, dancing, fun time on the beach, UFO night watch tours, film screenings, vendors, and more at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Over 34 Montauk Project survivors, Secret Space Program whistleblowers, ET contactees, and psychic healers will be presenting in the name of the Full Disclosure Movement. The truth must be revealed if we're all to achieve our Star Trek future here and now. Get your event passes and book your stay now at fulldisclosuremovement.org.
Holy crap.
I believe it was 5 separate craft. That's some straight UFO shit right there.
That's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing.
I just kept filming and looking up at the sky, and it just started happening more frequently.
Look, what is that? What is that? What was that?
And Major Hector Quintanilla is now the chief of Project Blue Book. Major Quintanilla, what are the objectives of Project Blue Book?
As I'm standing there, I kind of, it's a very hard feeling to describe. Skinny arms, skinny legs, but I could only see about half of this thing.
It was just an eye-opening experience. There was a ship coming over the house.
It was like a white light sort of thing that we saw. It was coming out of a cloud.
Hi, I'm Heather McLaren, ASDP ufologist from Scotland, and you're watching Alien Strand podcast with Donald Ledesma.
everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Don Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. Man, thank you for coming back. This is, I know I show you the previews to the films. Please go watch them. They're very important because it's disclosure. It's UFO disclosure, man. And like I said, everything that's in those films is true. And it's people that have experienced a lot of this UFO phenomena and things that happen to them while experiencing their first UFO, watching a UFO come down, and all of a sudden, things just start happening there in their lives that changes, right? And that's what happens, man. But anyway, welcome to Alien Strand Podcast. I'm glad you guys are here today. If you like this podcast, please like me here in Rumble. Give me a like, a thumbs up. Follow me here on Rumble, Alien Strand Podcast, on YouTube, on X, on Twitch. I tried Facebook again, but I put it on, and guess what? Nope, it ain't happening. Those guys, man, I swear to God, they don't like me. They don't like me. You know why? Because I tell the truth. That's why. But all right, look, today is I'm going to be talking about UFOs, of course. We're going to be talking about extraterrestrials. We're going to be talking about contact, right? And I'm going to show you some videos and stuff that kind of correlates all together with contact and frequencies and how the dimensions come together, right? Because we always think about these things when we see a supernatural, maybe a ghost, as being in a different dimension, right? And I talk about this all the time here on Alien Strand Podcast about the dimensions, right? And how we can get the just to try to figure out what it is that's happening, right? Or what is it that's making these things jump into these dimensions with us, right? To where we can see these things and people are experiencing UFOs as well, right? And just the touch, right? Or when you're asleep and they leave you these marks, all kinds of stuff, right? Because it's a realm, a different frequency that we can't see with our own eyes, man. Oh, and the last podcast, thank you guys for watching it. We had over about 800 people, 800 views. Great, man. I really appreciate it. It doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of these guys have been on it for a long time, but you know what? It means a lot to me. Even if it's 8 people, it doesn't matter as long as it's getting through. But thank you guys for sharing it and watching this podcast here on Rumble. But anyway, so we're talking about the dimensions and how these things come together, right? In that certain realm, right? And we can only see things in a frequency, right? If you really think about it, our eyes, our ears are in a different frequency. I'm going to pop this up on screen so you guys can see it, right? So it says a human eye can only see between 430 and 770 terahertz, right? Our ears can only detect the sound between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz, right? Which is the low and the real high, right? So these ranges can make up a fraction of the total sound and light frequency range, which means a lot is going on around us that we cannot hear, right? That does make a lot of sense if you really think about it. If you're reading it right there, it makes a lot of sense. There's frequencies that we can't see here that happen around us, right? Which means, right, there's a different dimension happening around our third plane, right? So and that's the difference between sometimes we see things as paranormal and sometimes we see things as extraterrestrial, right? And because of these orbs, things that happen. And I'm going to show you some footage. I remember I talked to you last week about the girl that out of Canada that I'm going to show you one of her videos and then a small section of that of the orb. And then I'm going to break it down for you so you can tell what's happening in her part of the world. And it's happening this morning. A little while ago, she sent me some videos. I'm going to have her on the show next week. All right. So be ready for that. She's going to be coming on the show next week and we're going to talk to her face to face. All right. You guys are going to be able to see her, hear her, everything. All right. So anyway, we're talking about the dimensions, right? How these things come together. And I call this the void, right? Because there is a void between that to where the void meaning that there's nothingness in between the void, which is our dimension, right? Because remember, I always talk about there's no time, right? There's when these extraterrestrials get a hold of you or when you're dreaming, right? There is no time. It's like you're not experiencing time. Things are just happening, very quickly, right? So And that is the void. That is the void that I'm talking about between extraterrestrial and interdimensional, right? And this is what we're trying to put together. So I'm going to show you this small video of the how these fifth and sixth dimension works. So just kind of pay attention to this real quick. It's about a minute and 20 seconds long. Check this out. And then that way you kind of get a bigger picture where I'm going with this. All right. So here we go.
Builds on the idea of the space-time continuum by introducing the possibility of multiple, parallel universes. It suggests a cosmos where different outcomes from the same starting conditions can exist in separate realities. This concept extends our understanding of the universe beyond a single linear history to include an infinite number of potential histories and futures. The fifth dimension is a theoretical space where all these alternate versions of reality might coexist, offering a framework to explore ideas like the multiverse, where each universe could have its own set of physical laws and constants, vastly differing from ours. The sixth dimension proposes a universe that includes all possible outcomes and histories, expanding beyond our universe's specific initial conditions. It's a theoretical realm that encompasses every conceivable variation of how a universe can start and evolve, suggesting a cosmic landscape filled with universes that differ not just in their histories, but also in their fundamental physical laws. This dimension encourages us to imagine the existence of universes that are radically different from our own, where the constants and rules we take for granted may not apply. It opens up discussions about the nature of these universes and how they might operate under entirely different principles.
Okay, so it's telling you that there's multiple universes that can operate, right? That we're not seeing. So what if these multiple dimensions that we're not able to see with our eyes or physical, that you're able to experience still, because the entity, whatever it is on the other side, is bringing it to you, right? That's what we're seeing, right? As far as like spooky stuff, paranormal. And if you guys were watching for the paranormal, I got some stuff for you guys. I got some stuff for you, spooky stuff, dude. I'm going to show you here. But I just want to kind of bring this together as you're listening to this and listening to me speak. Open-mindedness, right? Because please keep an open mind. All right, this is what this is about. Just keep, this is a possibilities of what may be happening. All right, may be happening. So and it's just something you can kind of put together in your mind, because this is what's going through my head, my thoughts, right? That what it probably is, and what it's, a lot of conclusions are actually coming down to that. All right, that certain hypothesis that's bringing this all together, right, in that realm. Now, when they're talking about the multiverse and all that good stuff that comes in between it, right? I did find an article, right? And it's small, but it kind of brought things to life. And if you think about these beings, or spiritual beings, or these extraterrestrial beings, kind of within those fifth and sixth dimensions, coming across each other and then coming into our third dimension, right? So you kind of think about that just for a minute. Keep an open mind just for a minute. And so we start talking about the void, right? The void, which is nothing, time. There's nothing there, right? So let's talk about that just real quick, and then I'm going to show you the videos, right? So let me read this to you. I'm just going to throw this on screen for you. It's not it, but I'm just going to let you something to, instead of seeing my beautiful face here. But anyway, it says the void is different the vacuum space of our universe, because it has nothing in it. No space, no time, no mass, and no charge. It's only pure energy. The only particles that have no space, no time, no mass, no charge are photons, and hence the void filled with photons, different energy levels, separated by quantum numbers in it. And the energy within the void sources a creation of annihilation, right? Each universe or of the multiverse is created in parts and joined together in gravity, which is dark photons, right? Which we can't see it, right? So it's a different energy. It says the energy creates one part of the first dimension, two parts of the second dimension, three parts, yada yada, so on. Here we go, right? And it starts talking about the formation of the dimensional universe, meaning the Big Bang, right? Just like the Big Bang theory is created in 3D, three parts, 2D universe comes together as a 3D universe, right? So that's pretty much what it's. Well, it was a great article, man. It's a great read because it breaks it down for you to where it's like you start thinking outside the box just a little bit, right? Okay, well, there is nothingness, right? The dark matter, the photons, whatever, the flow. Excuse me. And I know that these spiritual beings that are happening, even people that are deceased and come back, what if they're in that different dimension that we can't see, but they're able to materialize, right? So let's show this video real quick. This is a security guard in a cemetery. I've showed this on an old one before, but I didn't get the full video. But this time I did. So check this out. This is something that's happening to him. It's kind of spooky. So check this out real quick.
How the hell they keep opening these? Hello? Yeah. Hey, you need to come out. I'm not playing anymore. I don't know where the hell these people are or where. Jesus Christ. All right, calm. All right, guys. There was somebody standing in the corner. I just saw that when my video uploaded, and what the The lights are flickering on and off. Hang on a second, guys. So, don't know what the hell is going on here, but I'm about to check this out. Okay, guys. I'm really not sure what's going on here. Nope. Yeah, I'm done. This is some spooky going on here. Nope. This is why my security officer quit. Just so y'all can be witness here. I'm checking out this. I'm getting the hell out of here. This is my day off. I hear leaves crickling and shit. Nope. There was a kid standing. Somebody was standing right over here when I walked right past them to the left. What is going on? I'm basically just securing all this stuff right now. Just making sure there's nobody in here. Anybody in here? Hello? Yeah, but listen, you got to get out of here. You're going to have to come talk to me, okay? Where you at? I can't see you. You're correct. So you need to come out, okay? You guys hear this? This is broad daylight. I don't know where this kid is. Where are you? So what is going on, you guys? There is a red truck out here. And the chapel lights just came on. Hello? Hey, look, if you're just out here with me, you're fixing to end up in jail, you understand? So where are you? Nope, I'm getting the
Yeah, no. No, thank you. So yeah, man, that definitely takes some cojones to actually work those cemeteries and all this good stuff out there, man. I don't know how they do it, but I wanted to show you that because that's a totally different dimension, right? That these spiritual things are happening that we can't see. We can hear it, but we can't see it, right? But what if you could see it, right? In a different kind of like our cameras, the older cameras can pick up different things, right? And sometimes they come out in photographs, and we see them all the time, like this, right? So this is a ghost out in a cemetery, and once I started zooming in, you look at it just a little bit deeper. Look at that. It looks like a woman walking, but look what's beside the woman. It looks like a woman and a little kid holding her hand. That's, you know, strange. Um, as you zoom back, you can see that, can't you? I mean, I saw it. I was like, wow, that looks like two people walking hand in hand, right? At the cemetery, like a woman and a little girl, or somebody holding somebody's hand. Um, as spooky as that is, right? And it's just if you guys are watching this, give me a thumbs up or something. I can see on y'all's chat. But I mean, and the only reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because not to scare the shit out of you or the hell out of you, but it's to, excuse my French, but it's to show you that the other side of the dimension that we always see, right? And there, there's an answer to my madness here, okay? And I'm just kind of bringing all this to life, so you guys can see what's happening to people, and it kind of manifests itself to make it look that way as well, right? And that's the part that people always try to figure out, right? Well, what are these things, right? Am I getting something interdimensional, or am I getting something that's a extraterrestrial after seeing an extraterrestrial craft? Because they all go to that same thing, right? They are seeing the exact same thing. And that's the weird part about it, is that when they're seeing all that, it just it it kind of freaks your brain out just for a minute, and you just start thinking, well, maybe it is that, right? Or maybe it's not that. And as much as we try to put it all together in our thought process, you can't, right? Because you're always saying, well, I don't know if this is a ghost or this is something, right? And I think I read this to you here a while back, but I'm gonna throw this on film on here on so you guys can see it. This is something that a woman experienced, and it's almost extraterrestrial, and it's got the paranormal factor as well with it, right? So I'm going to throw this on screen. Now, this is what they were talking about, right? And I'm going to read a little bit to this. It says, hello, friends. This particular encounter took place September 18th, 2017 at 6 a.m. My husband had just left for work while I was still in bed. Suddenly, these beings just appeared out of nowhere in my bedroom. I thought they thought I was asleep, but big surprise when I opened my eyes and I saw them. I saw this 7 foot tall teal color mantis creature. Says she was a female hovering towards my side of my bed. She immediately shrugged her shoulders in awe when she realized I was awake. No expression whatsoever on her face. She had one small line in her mouth, one single black hair that was curled up on the top of her head, and they were wearing some kind of surgical garments, right? I could only see the back of the three that were standing behind them by the foot of my bed, by the dresser. The female was shocked to see me that I was awake. I couldn't move. Only my eyes, I could only move. So it's like a paralysis sort of state, right? So it says without waiting to see that they were what they were up to, I said out loud in my mind, "Get the f out of here, out of my space! I do not consent to this." Before I could finish my thoughts, they were gone. Right? Mantis perhaps was the mysterious unsettling of the extraterrestrial creatures. They are highly advanced in technology. These are what more are spiritually more awake. The process ability to see through the deception, through the screen of memories implanted by them. It says they not only work with the physical plane, but also interact with the etheric astral realms. As I know myself experience, as I mentioned before. This is not my first rodeo. Doubt it, it'll be my last. All right. So this is what you're seeing on screen is what they took pictures of. They did their own analysis. They had marks on their legs, everything that was on them, right? To where they were experiencing what these beings were, right? Well, what she saw. And she was awake, right? And a lot of times we always, just kind of dismiss these as, maybe when you're having I don't know if you guys have ever had paralysis when you woke up. I've had it twice, right? And I'm not saying that I got abducted or anything like that, but I know I was having some bad juju. This was back in my early 30s, things like that, right? So there was just a lot of bad stuff happening at the time, but I felt like something was holding me down and pushing me down, right? And I couldn't move. Only my eyes could move. And I could feel myself just kind of wanting to scream, but I couldn't, right? And it felt like something was weighing itself down on me. And if it almost feels like the bed was being pushed down, right? That is a weird kind of paralysis that I was experiencing twice within the same month. Now, they say that paralysis can happen when you are actually in a high stress uh, level, right? So let's just say you're going through a lot of stuff, things are happening, you're very stressful, you're tired, not much sleep, you can actually experience paralysis, right? I get that too. But when it feels so real, I mean, I didn't see aliens and things like that, like other people see. I just experienced the almost like a paranormal or a supernatural thing that happened to me, right? And this is what this woman in Canada is experiencing with the same thing, right? So she sent me a video, right? And she's going to be on the show next week, and we're going to shoot. I have a lot more videos and photos from her, but I'm just going to show you a quick one. This is an orb that when they're asleep, this orb goes by them, right? So check this out real quick, and then you know where I'm trying to get at here. So it has no sound, but you'll see it while they're asleep. You see little orbs starting to fly by. People say, "Oh, those are bugs, man! Those are bugs! I've seen their bugs. They're just flying around up in Canada, right?" So I don't know. I had to kind of a lot of times when you see these things passing by, you do see movement, right? She sent me another video yesterday of something moves her arm, man, and then something moves her blanket back, right? While they're asleep. And you could see it in the video, right? And that's the strange part. So what I did was on that just small thing that you just saw right there, I did a quick snapshot of it and I did a little bit of analysis on that orb as it went by, right? And this is what popped up, right? So you can see they're asleep right there on the right, and the orb is actually giving a little bit of light off to the pillows, but you can't see that because that's how fast it happens as it's going by, right? In front of the lens, right? So, and they sent me some videos today, and I'm going to show it next week when she comes on the show, of UFOs and crafts that she got really good ones, man. I'm like, wow. And then this starts happening right after, because she told me, she goes, right after I saw my first UFO, this starts happening. And that's the strangeness of it all, right? Of how it happens and why it happens after a UFO visitation, right? Why do they make themselves look like ghosts or orbs or anything like that, right? Are they actually preparing themselves for an actual abduction, right? Is there an abduction coming? I say it's a 50-50 chance that this is a possibility that might happen. And I don't like to scare the crap out of people, but if you don't see what we're seeing here, how we're putting things together, and how we're trying, the thing with her, and I tell her, look, yours looks more extraterrestrial than it does paranormal, right? And it does to me, because she said right after I saw the UFO, all this stuff starts happening. They've been in the same house 2 years, I believe. Nothing until then. Why then, right? And that is the difference between that, right? So, and then what do we see in these orbs, right? And I'm going to show you a picture. These are some of the orbs that people catch, right? And as we zoom in and we start looking at these things, that they start looking, more and more like, faces, right? That are inside of these orbs. These orbs that you're seeing here are from a different person, but this was after, I think I read their story, that was after an extraterrestrial encounter that they start getting these orbs, right? That are floating around. yada, yada, yada. Here we go. Right. So, and this is the part that I'm talking about is the void, right? The void that these two interdimensional beings, because I believe the extraterrestrials are a manifestation, but they are real, right? But they're able to jump into different dimensions, right? Because they talked about it. I don't know if you saw Joe Rogan's podcast, this last one, when they were talking with Terrence, and there was another mathematician telling him how is it that these extraterrestrials come from 300 million light years and it would take them that long to get here, but they're here. And how did they get here that fast, right? If if they can't bend space and time, right? In other words, where there is no time and travel, which is interdimensionally, right? And that's what we're trying to put together of these extraterrestrials, paranormal. This is the difference of what is this? Is it paranormal or is it interdimensional or is it aliens, right? Extraterrestrials. People experience it all the freaking time, all the time. And then how do we know if there's going to be an extraterrestrial standing there, right? Like just like this photo right here. This person in the real photo was what I did was I analyzed it, right? They're pointing at a dark, dark closet or dark place inside of their house. And they're saying something's there. I see it, but I can't see it with my camera. So I used my analysis on the V2 art and all those pixelers that I use to bring out whatever was in there, right? And that's what you're seeing right there. That's exactly what you're seeing, what these things are, right? So remember I showed you the videos last week of how these extraterrestrial craft are cloaking themselves, right? Why not? These things can do the same thing. In other words, they're much more sophisticated. I'm not saying they're dead like paranormal or souls or people that have passed on. I'm saying they're a living entity, but are able to do this with their technology, right? And they're able to manipulate the paranormal factor as well, right? And that's the part where we always just try to think about, wow, is this happening to people, right? Look at this. They took a picture, and right there, you can pretty much tell that there's something with some big old eyeballs there looking at them. Kind of hard to tell, but when you zoom back a little bit, you can almost see the face of this thing. And that's the hard part to determine of what these things are, right? Or if they're not. Believe me if you want. Don't believe me. I'm not here to make you believe. Those are things that I want you just to understand of what I believe, how these dimensions are coming together, how these extraterrestrial craft are coming together, and how they interact amongst each other, right? Do the ghosts know? Can they see them? I have no idea. You know, I don't know. We haven't heard stories of that, of people talking to ghosts and say, hey, can you see the ETs? No, I haven't heard anything that. Nothing. So I'm going to show you one more, another video, which is the last video, but I want you to see that this is from the History Channel, but I want you to see what happened to this man. And you have to see this because this is the spooky part that's possibly happening to this woman in Canada. They just can't see it yet.
David Eckhart is asleep in his bedroom. A closed-circuit camera mounted above the bed captures the room bathed in a soft yellow light coming from an open door. Suddenly, the camera picks up something alarming. A short, skinny humanoid figure begins slowly peeking out from behind the open door. David does not stir from his sleep as little by little, the figure creeps further into the doorway, revealing a bizarrely slender leg, seemingly just a few inches in diameter, then an oblong head and eventually its whole body. It resembles otherworldly beings commonly described as greys, and this apparently wasn't the first time David has seen one. David wouldn't be the first to report repeated visits from extraterrestrials.
It's very rare that
All right. So you saw this thing peeking at him, right? While he was asleep. Luckily, he caught that on camera, right? Man, imagine if they wouldn't have caught that on camera. Wouldn't have been able to see it. And the strangeness is of these orbs that, like I said, these things are orbs. They do manifest themselves inside of orbs as well, right? And maybe we're just trying to we're maybe we're thinking too much or about it. But if this picture right here does it, this is an orb that was blown up. Now I don't know what you're seeing here, but I know what I'm seeing. Right? That looks like an ET inside of that orb. Looking right at you, right? And like I said, I'm not here to blow smoke, you know. I'm just here to show you the evidence, right? And learn you a little bit, right? Just teach you a little something, right? Something that you didn't know. And maybe if you have a conversation with somebody about extraterrestrials and paranormal, maybe point them this way to this podcast so they can see the difference of what it is or what it's not, right? And are these things, demons? Because they really do act like that too. The scratching, the marks, the, removing of parts, like dissection of pieces from people, and that is the dark side of it, right? If you really think about it, that's the dark side of it. And I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention today. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast today as much as I have given you the information of what happened, right? Or what and of what you guys saw, and your determination of what the void really is, right? It comes down sometimes. You have to bring in the science, right? For the people that are really science and they're not into spiritualism and all that good stuff, right? So sometimes you have to bring in the science in order to put it together, and it still becomes spiritualism if you really look at it later on, right? It does, because they've already recorded an aura around people. They already know we have one. They know we have a spirit. Where did that come from? Hello. They know we got electrons and all kinds of stuff firing up in our brain, electricity, which makes us move and work and everything, right? We have a spark of electricity flowing in your body, man. Where does that come from? It's like you have to think about it. You have to set the motion to have the motion, right? In other words, it's like rubbing a balloon and then you get the electricity, right? But who's rubbing the balloon? Hello? I'm just putting it in that sense, right? So, yeah, it's something to think about, and I hope you guys got some information out of this. Kind of weird. It was freaky a little bit. You got to see some orbs. You got to see things that are happening, but you're going to be seeing our friend come up next week. She'll be on the show with me, and I'll be talking to her one-on-one. We'll be showing her videos and a couple of photos and the things that are happening up to her up there in Canada, right, where she lives, and this thing happens to people all over the world, man, all over the freaking world. So, and that's what this podcast is about. Whether you're watching it here on Rumble or on Twitch, YouTube, whatever it is, give me a thumbs up. If you like it, thank you. And I'll bring some more to life, man. I'm going to have some more people on here as well. Right? Try to get some more folks. And I will get more folks on. So that way you don't have to hear me blab so much and talk so much. You can hear from them as well. Right? That's what it's about, disclosure. So anyway, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, give me a like, subscribe. Thank you for watching the middle. Thank you for watching everything. That disclosure conference that's going to be in Florida. They're going to be showing my film there, the middle part 2. If you guys are in that area, please go to that website, get yourself a ticket for it's a 3-day event. Go check it out if you're there in that part of Florida. All right. So, and I might just see you there. I might, you might. But until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night. We'll see you later. Alien Strand Podcast. Don't forget, catch it on audio too. See you later.
Join your fellow Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Experiencers at the 2024 Full Disclosure Now Conference, this July 15th to 18th. This conference will be a fun and positively life-changing experience for so many. In addition to 4 days and nights of presentations, there will be special event dinners, dancing, fun time on the beach, UFO night watch tours, film screenings, vendors, and more at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Over 34 Montauk Project survivors, Secret Space Program whistleblowers, ET contactees, and psychic healers will be presenting in the name of the Full Disclosure Movement. The truth must be revealed if we're all to achieve our Star Trek future here and now. Get your event passes and book your stay now at fulldisclosuremovement.org.